Hello and welcome to part 4 of the Blender 2.91 Fireplace series. In this part we will create our wood logs and learn how to easily use the nodes system to create beautiful procedural textures for our logs. In the description you can find the music clip that was the reason I made a similar fireplace. Check it if you have any suggestions or anything there that you want me to make a tutorial about. Also, if you want to buy the final project of the fireplace, you can find the two in the description for $3 to support the channel.
So the first thing we do is Shift A, mesh and cylinder. So we have this big cylinder. Here we see the options of the last of the mesh we just added. We will lower this to just 16. It needs less processing and our work will be faster, even the rendering maybe will be faster. So now we do S and resize this guy like this, left click, and then we do Z to move up this guy like this, and then we do S this time, and we will resize it on all sides except the Z, except this side. So we do S, Shift Z, so it doesn't resize from the Z, and like this. This is nice. Now let's resize it on the Z axis too, like this. So we have this log. I think the size is good. Maybe we'll make it a little bit bigger. Okay, this is good. Now R, Y to resize it from the Y axis, and rotate it with the R, 90 on the keyboard, enter, and we have it like this, a horizontal wood log. So now right click on it and do shade smooth so we don't see all those harsh edges. Now we hide the fireplace, we have only our log, and we go to the shading panel. So here we will use our nodes, but first we go to the material panel here and add a material. Let's just hit new, and then we'll add another material. So plus and new. We have here two materials. Let's name the first long wood, and the second we name it round wood. So we will make two textures, two procedural textures for each. So for the round wood, let's go here to edit mode. So we do face select here with the 3 on the keyboard, or just you hit this. We select this face and then we turn around and shift select this face too. First we choose the round wood and hit assign, so that we have the second material assigned to this round parts of the log. Let's check if it worked. So now if we select the long wood and do select, it will select only the side part, and if we hit this and do select, it will select the round parts of the log. Okay, so let's deselect. Let's go to the long wood. Let's start with this. Okay, here are our nodes. So first of all, I'm not an experienced user with nodes, but I learned a few things on how to make a few things with nodes. There's a lot to learn about nodes. You have some time to be very experienced with math to be able to do some complicated things with nodes. But even if you don't know, there are a lot of tutorials on YouTube, and you can check them and follow them blindly almost to make beautiful things and then customize them as you wish for your needs. So now let's add a new node. We do Shift A, just like in the viewport to add meshes. We do Shift A. You can look for your node here, or you can just hit search and type in. So we need our color ramp, color ramp node, and we will connect it here with the base color of our principled BSDF. So when you create a new material, this two nodes came in automatically, so we just add in the nodes we need. The second node we will need is a texture, and that is called, just type texture here. We could use this with our fireplace, but we used another method. Image texture, gradient texture. What we need is a noise texture, this one. Okay, so we connect this guy, the FAC, I don't know what it stands for, with the FAC here. So now you see that we have a texture here. You can see that we have some noise, black and white. And if we move this gradient in the color ramp, we can see that already we can customize the look of this. So let's change the colors to some colors for wood. We're just gonna create some simple wood log, something for a cartoony clip like the one you can check in the description and watch and tell me if there are any things you want me to do a tutorial about. Okay, I think this is good. Lighter wood, and now we will create some darker brown. Some dark brown like this. I think this is good. So now we have something that looks like wood. Maybe make this darker. Let's edit the roughness here in the BSDF thingy. 0.7 for the roughness and 0 for the specular thingy. Okay, so we have this now, but we haven't finished yet. So there is something maybe you want to activate before we continue. So we go into preferences, so go into the add-ons section, look for node, and then activate the node wrangler, and then go to the bottom left corner of the window and do save preferences, and then we go back to noise texture and we do Ctrl T for texture, and that will add 2 useful nodes for our texture to that will help us to control the texture. What we need to control is the scale here. Let's make it bigger so we can see clearly. We will control the scale, so let's try X like this. We will make it long wood. Long, just like we call the material. So like this, and then we edit maybe the Y too. The Y. So now we have already some good looking wood. You can mess up with the colors and maybe get some better colors than I did here. Here it looks really good with the lighting. And okay, so this is almost it, huh? The Z, I don't know. The Z we can make it 0. No, it's ugly, so leave it at 1. And now we'll add just one more node. That's optional, but it will give us a much better look to our wood log. And Shift A, that's called bump. So we'll add a bump mode node. We put it here. Let's zoom in, and then normal. We put the normal to the normal of this guy, of the principal thingy, and then we go to the FAC here and put it in the height. Here we can see something that looks like depth. It's a fake depth, but it looks convincing, you see. So what happened here is that the software here took data from the noise texture and then translated it as height. The height is like depth, you see. It's a bump. It's a bump. So the whites or the light parts will be like bumps, and the dark parts will be like it's depth. It's more it's deeper. The darker the deeper, and the lighter the less deep, you see. And then we will just change here the strange. You see it looks ugly, but if we lower the strange to like maybe 0.1, it looks much better. Okay, let's try it with 0 like this. 0.1, maybe 0.3, 0.5, maybe this 0.3. I think this looks good. No, this is too much. So let's go back to 0.1. Yeah, this is good. 0.1. Okay, so we have finished with our first material, the long wood. Now we go to the second material. It's almost the same. We will add, but it's a little bit more complicated, especially in the color ramp. We will add. We will want to have some circles in here for the wood. So we will first add a lot of color stops in here, and that's, I think, with control click. Yeah, control click, and we add a lot of these guys like this. And then a color to the color base, and then we add this time we add a gradient texture. So we type in gradient texture instead of a noise texture. We added a gradient texture, and I think we do the FAC to the FAC. Okay, so already we see a gradient here. Oh, yeah, about the material. So the roughness to 0.7, like we did with the first material, and the specular to 0. Okay, so it's the same object, so we'll have to, well, in this case at least it will have to have the same roughness and the same specular thingy. Okay, so we changed the gradient from linear to, let's zoom in so we can see clearly, linear to quadratic sphere. Quadratic sphere. Quadratic sphere. Okay, we see nothing here, but what if we went, yeah. So in this side we see nothing, just black, and I think this is the color we have here. But on this side, so be careful, if you see nothing happening, flip the log, the wood log, so you can see. That happened to me before and I couldn't see anything. I thought it wasn't working, but it was working on this side. What to do next? I think we do Control T. Control T, just like we did before, and we have this mapping node and this texture gradient coordinate mod. What we will do before continuing is to change changing these colors. So there's a little trick to copy colors. It's a simple trick actually. So this light color, just put the mouse on the color and do Control C to copy that color, and then go here and select one of the other colors here, this one, and do here and go with the cursor in here and do Control V. Okay, now we leave this and go to this one, Control V. Go back to the other material, choose this color, go here and Control C. Nice. So now we will, I think I will remove this guy, just hit the minus here, so we have on one side a light color, and the other on the other side we have a dark color. Okay, now we go to the mapping node and try to change the location. So like this, we make it in the center, and then I think we just will type this value, so minus 0.5, and here we go. We have our log in the center, but don't forget something is to change the thing, this type, the type of the mapping from point to texture. You see something happened, something wrong happened, huh? But we will try to fix it. Let's change the location again. Okay, let's put it 0.5 and 0.5. Nice. What if we go to the other side? Nothing happened here. Okay, so what to do to fix this? I think also we can edit the scale. Okay, so what about 0.5 and then 0.5? Yeah, so I think this is here we have all our colors, but you see here it's wider. The more you go to the outside of the circle, the more the circle gets wider. So let's edit it here in our color ramp. Let's edit this gradient. Okay, like this. We can make this wider actually, so we can work comfortably. Okay, I think this is enough. We have almost our log made, except for the other side, and the fix is very easy. I experienced a lot before getting this result. For this particular object, this cylinder, for a different object maybe you need to experiment more with these values. So what helped me here is to change the Z value to 0, and now we will have the same shape or the same texture in the two sides. So here we go. This is our wood log finished and beautiful and all. Let's unhide our fireplace. Let's go to this view mode, and let's bring the lights in front of our firelight like this, so we can see clearly. Nice, we can see our log clearly. We are using the Eevee render. I love Eevee, and I try to optimize my works for Eevee so that I don't hassle working with cycles when I render and taking hours and days to render. In cycles it looks like this. Yeah, the log looks nice even in cycles. The music clip I made that I asked you to see was rendered using only EV. Okay, so back to EV, and let's give some material to our fireplace. Change the color to some blue, maybe like this, some dark blue, maybe like this. And the roughness, we will change the roughness to 0.7. This doesn't look bad. And let's add some other logs here. So GZ, put it down like this. Move it to the front a bit with Y, using Y. Rotate it on the Z axis like this, maybe. Shift D. Get it like this. Resize it a little bit. Rotate it on the Z axis like this. And then rotate it again. And then move it like this. See that it's overlapping. You could get away with this. Even if it's overlapping, it still might look good. But we'll try to make it look a little bit better. Okay, let's duplicate it again. Shift D. Rotate like this. I don't know. And then like this. And then like this. And then move it like this. And then rotate again. We're just doing like free rotation. Let's resize again. And move it like this. Let's rotate it a bit more. I think 3 logs is enough. You could make more, but we'll keep it. Let's move them on the y-axis like this. And here we are. We have some logs.
Thank you for watching part 4. In the final part, we will make animated light for the fireplace and easily add a beautiful and hot fire to finally make our fireplace complete. So see you there.